Sound of Money with Santosh Sirur.
Hello, Bala sir, and welcome to the 100th episode of the series of The Sound of Money. Delighted to have you.
Thanks, Santosh. Happy to hear the way, in a small way, you started these interactions. Now it's reached the 100th episode. I'm
Thank
happy to be
you.
part of the 100th episode and hope the viewers also get some of advantage of this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Sir, with the background and the backdrop of the war, the economic situation, the geopolitical situation, still, in terms of an India growth story, where do you see the India growth story heading? How can kind of that momentum, will it be sustained? Do you feel so?
And their growth story, of course, has been the journey has begun for the last almost 2.5 decades. Has been for many number of years, 3 decades, I would say.
Yeah.
And then it only gained further momentum in the last 10 years in making it more sustainable by
Yeah.
stepping the focus on various moving parts of the country, which
Mm,
will make India more prominent among the most other economies in the world.
mm,
And then, as always happens, India, as any other country, the current geopolitical risk, it affects
yeah.
India too.
Mm,
But if I go by the earlier occasions in the past, there are many such things came and actually hit the world, and India was also getting impacted. After every crisis, India could manage to get more better. Therefore, the current crisis that which are saying would also make it little more forthcoming from the government to look at some of the areas of risk which is coming on account of this energy pressures and related other sectors. Therefore, government will also step up the investment for the future in order to
mm,
ensure that India also do not get impacted, or maybe the least we get impacted because of oil price increase and so on and so forth. So my own
yeah.
belief is it will have some temporary break in the growth momentum. But otherwise, I'm not worried because India has been building it, the economy for the last maybe last decade.
Mm,
Any step that's being taken are more in the nature of making Indian economy more sustainable, whether it's investing in manufacturing, whether it is investing on digital technology, whether it is investing on road infrastructures, making it manufacturing in India more for India as well as abroad. There are many initiatives that are being taken in the that have been taken in the last few years would only
mm.
make the India to go to the next level of growth. And then area where we have progressed big time is the energy sectors. India has seen a huge progress. Therefore, I'm not worried about India's long-term growth, but the short-term growth marginally get impacted, but not so much, I would say. It's
Okay.
more of
So in terms of,
time to be more aware of issues that is around that is surrounding us, and then
yeah,
accordingly prepare ourselves for the faster growth. It's something will remain as a key focus area for the government and for all of us.
wonderful. Yeah. So which are the sectors that will contribute, do you think, significantly to the growth of the GDP, eventually reaching to the 10 trillion mark? Any particular
See, if
sector?
it was the service industries within India, it's now continued to become a bigger and bigger, especially the last 5 6 years. The way India development activities have begun, while investment-led growth has been coming to the public sector, private sector investment-led growth, wherein manufacturing now is being done in India, whether it is on the defense, whether it is on the semiconductor, whether it is on the electronic manufacturing. I think we made a huge progress, even making panels for renewable energy. So all those manufacturing activities are being undertaken in India. And so therefore, I would assume contribution from manufacturing will increase by at least about 2 3%. Service sector is becoming larger because one of the bigger infrastructure development that happened in the country is actually spiritual infrastructure. In the
Mm,
country connecting Kanyakumari to Kashmir with the Vande Bharat railway network has been introduced. The people movement across the country, both for leisure and business and trades, have been increasing each day. Even the airline
mm,
industry is one of the largest industry, hotel industry largest industry, and tourism industry is the largest industry. Therefore, service-led activities in India will also gain more and more strength. And that's something I see as a contributor for this economy. And the last but not
mm,
the least is agriculture economy also is now getting sufficient attention, both by the state government and the government in the last few years in order to increase the farming income, in order to
mm,
make India self-sustained for food, not only for us, We'll also produce enough which we can use it for exporting to the global market so that we can even feed the world in the
Yeah.
agricultural sectors. I would
Mm.
assume all the three key components of economic growth would be driven by this manufacturing
Yeah.
as well as agriculture and service.
Okay. The systematic investment plans or the SIPs have been a strong growth driver. And how do you see these evolving? Any potential for future penetration that is in the works?
I think SIP is something that now become a way of investing. There used to be a time we had to go and hard sell about SIPs in the past. I'm talking about 10 years back. At least
Yeah.
last 6, 7 years, people have understood the need of investing in the market. Second, they also understood the mode of investing in the market.
Yeah.
And the people also understood regular way of investing in the market, which is a disciplined manner. Since people have realized in a very hard way in the last many number of years that staying invested in equity can happen only through a disciplined way of investing through the SIP, I would assume this will increasingly become a way of savings for every citizen of the country. Maybe I would
Mm.
assume one of the saving instruments like recurring deposits, people start considering SIP in the equity schemes. Therefore, silent savings could potentially increase the wealth for the people. And that's the way
Mm.
I see the SIP is progressing each year.
Okay. And what would be your advice, sir, for investors who are looking to create maybe a long-term wealth creation plan for them and their family?
I think this SIP is the best way for
Yeah.
long-term wealth creation. Because every family, say about four-member family with the two children, say the age of about 10, 12, they need, of course, save not only for their children education and then the subsequent expense that they may have, they need to also build for their retirement. So
Mm.
everyone will have working life, say about 30, 35 years after this retirement life. Therefore, one has to build a retirement corpus as well, in
Yeah.
addition to helping their own kids meet their goals. And then the
Yeah.
kids, as they grow up, their income also will come. That
Yeah.
assuming that will be theirs as they start getting income, but you have to make yourself self-sufficient, not depend on anybody. That I think realization is increasingly is coming in everybody's mind. Therefore, the regularly investing for the future needs would remain the core concept for every family that they are quite serious about building these corpuses. I think will become the key metrics.
Wonderful. So your role at AMPI earlier, and especially when it comes to mutual fund protection, and I believe you and your team were instrumental with the mutual fund Sahi Hai campaign, which is on a very different level today. In fact, it is a part of the DNA for most of the investors. Uh, how did this come up, and what's been the learnings, for you and your team?
Yeah, I think something I'll give, of course, I'll share the credit along with others. Some of the people who actually did this along with me, they are part of my committee. We debated, discussed, and then we looked at the chart when we built this in 2016. Before
Mm.
2016, in the 10, 20 year, 20-year period, we saw multiple events affecting the market sentiment substantially. And
Yeah.
despite that, we used to say the return what we are seeing is real. So mutual the return जो दिखता है actually सही actually. So that's why we actually presented to the agency, and
Uh-huh.
they came with the idea of say mutual fund that means सही है. So that's
Mm.
why we brought that which is real सही है, which is what we brought at
Correct.
that point of time. Second is the idea of promoting it in a small way. We started that it should be part of the every profitable discussion. If you
Yeah.
have a coffee with somebody, he must become as a part of discussion. Therefore, how can you make it as part of the हर घर में आप कितना किस घर में बात कर सकते हैं? That's something we put it as
Mm.
part of the concept.
Mm.
It started in a small way with a high hope. But
Mm.
in fact, it has really taken a nice shape in the last since the time we started in 2016. I'm quite happy that we were instrumental to launching this in 2016.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has actually the base was so strong. The
Yeah.
subsequent Amphi chairman after me, it was actually initiated by Sika. Then after
Mm.
that, Leo Puri. I took on from there and created the mutual fund SIA.
Okay.
And then subsequent me, Nilesh, Nimesh, and Amanit, all of them actually taken to the next level of mutual fund SIA.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Bala sir. And many thanks once again from me and my team for the Sound of Money for being with us on this 100th series podcast.
Thank you, Santosh. I wish all the best for another 100 series in the next few years to come.